What's up guys, and welcome to another Python video. In this video I will be discussing Python strings and recursion. But to do this I'm going to use the MIT OpenCourseWare lecture assignments, and this one is going to be about strings and recursion like I said. This whole problem set will be on the biological perspective. So you can see here I have this problem set up, and this is a DNA string. So the whole problem set will be like that. It'll be framed around that. So yeah, let's just do problem 1. So in problem 1, it's asking us to write two functions called count substring match and count substring match recursive. That takes two arguments, a key string and a target string. These functions iteratively and recursively count the number of instances of the key in the target string. So let's just do the non-recursive one first. So I'm going to create a new variable, call it number, and set that equal to 0. And then I'm going to create another variable, call it I, and set that equal to 0. Number is our count of the number of matches the key has in the target, and I is our index count. The reason we need that is because we will be using a while loop. So while I is less than equal to the length of target, if not, target.find key I is equal to -1. So this is our first string function. We're basically finding the key string in the target string starting at index I in this case. And this whole function will return the first match index. But if it doesn't find anything, then we're going to be returning -1. So in this case, we're using if not. So we do find something. We're going to set I equal to target.find, same thing, key comma I. And then we're going to increase number by 1. So now we're skipping over, so we're just cutting everything off, and we're starting at I. And then over here, we can increase I by 1 as well. In the end, we can return number. Great. Now we can do the recursive one. So I'm going to use I again. So I is equal to target.find key, and we're going to start at 0. Because as we go through and loop through the functions again and again, we're going to be cutting short the target string. So if not I is equal to -1, then return. So we found something. Now we want to return the function again. Target sub I plus 1 splice. So basically, we're going to be cutting the string after we have finished the checking. So it's after the match. So now we can finish the parameters and add 1. And we're basically returning a number, so we can just add 1 to the return value, and that's going to be our quote-unquote number. And else, we're going to return 0. And great, I have everything set up here, the target and the key. And let's see what our answer is. If we double-click here, we get highlighted 2 times in the string. So our answer should be 2. So I'm printing both of the values out. Let's run that. And there we go. We get 2. So this is the answer to problem 1, which we have just now finished. Let's move on to problem 2. Alright, so for problem 2, we need to write the function substring match exact. This function takes 2 arguments, a target string and a key string. It should return tuple of the starting points of matches of the key string in the target string when indexing starts at 0. Test your function on each combination of key and target string. So he's provided us some keys here. I don't know why he called it 10, 11, 12, and 13, but we will ignore that. And another note is that from this problem onwards, we can use the recursive or the non-recursive methods to solve our problems. I will be showing answers for both on each problem. So for this problem, the answer is very similar to problem 1. So I'm going to copy that and paste it over here and change number to storage, and this will be a list, and append I, because now we want to return all of the indexes where we have a match. So now we can just return storage. That's all there was to it. And then for the recursive one, we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did in problem 1, but a little different. So I is going to be equal to target.find key and 0. And then if I is equal to -1, then we can return an empty list. And this can be done on the same line. It makes it slightly more concise. But if we stop here, then we're returning. But if we don't, that means we have something. So we can just return this function. And it's the same exact thing. We're going to sub I plus 1 and then splice it and pass a key. And now we're going to add the length of target I plus 1 spliced. But this function returns a list. And this is not a list. So we need to convert it to a list. To do that, just add square brackets. And now we can return, or we can run the program. And we get 515 and 515 because I'm printing out both of the functions. So we can change this to key 10 and try that out. And yeah, we get all of these numbers, and this is correct. Brilliant. Now we can move on to problem 3. Alright, so here we are, problem 3. Write a function called constrained match pair which takes 3 arguments. A tuple representing starting points for the first substring, a tuple representing starting points for the second substring, and the length of the first substring. The function should return a tuple of all members, call it n, of the first tuple for which there is an element in the second tuple, call it k, such that n plus m plus 1 is equal to k, where m is the length of the first substring. To test this function, we have provided a function called substring match1sub, which takes 2 arguments, a target string and a key string. This function will return a tuple of all starting points of matches of the key to the target, such that at most one element of the key is incorrectly matched to the target. Alright, so as you can see, I have set everything up here. We will be invoking some functions from problem 2. So I've imported that. This is his function. And right here, it invokes our previous functions. And I have updated it to make sure it is updated and ready for Python 3. And I have the key and the string ready over here. Alright, so let's just start with the one that is non-recursive. So we're going to start off by needing a storage. And I'm going to make it a tuple. Then we're going to go for A in first match, for B in second match. And now we need to check, because we're basically trying to go through all possible combinations. So hence the 2 for loops. And now we need to make sure that we match the n plus m plus 1 equals k format. So if A plus length plus 1 is equal to B, then we want to add to the storage tuple. How do we do that? Like this. So storage is equal to storage plus parentheses indicating tuple A, comma. So now we have added. And then we can return storage. There we go. Oops, I missed an equal. Alright. Now that function is ready. Now let's do the recursive one. Alright, so for the recursive one, let's just go down to our function over here. Let's set up our base case. So if the length of first match is less than equal to 0, we want to return an empty tuple. Alright, now we're going to need to create our recursive case. But to do that, I'm going to create a new function, because we have to go through all of the second match items for every first match item. So we are going to be splicing the first match item every iteration. So this function is going to go through all of the second match items. So I'm going to call it check second match. And pass in element, second match, and the length. And now I'm going to say for I in range, length of second match, if element plus length plus 1 is equal to second match sub I, then return true. Because now we have found an exact match. But if we don't return true in the whole if for loop, then we want to return false because we have not found anything. So now I can come down here and write our recursive case. So if check second match, and we're going to pass in the first match, sub 0, because we're splicing, then the second match, and then the length. And if we get true, true is returned, then we want to return, in parentheses, first match, sub 0, comma, because this is a tuple. Now we can add to the tuple. We're going to call our function. So constrained match pair recursive. We're going to pass in first match, sub 1, colon. So we're splicing. And then the second match, and then length. Because so now we're like appending in a tuple to the first match. Otherwise, we want to return this whole thing. So we're just calling it again, but we're still splicing it. So it still works. All right. So now I have everything set up over here to print. In problem 2, we do pull this function in the professor's function. So I have it there. And let's print it out. And there we go. We get all of our results, 515, 515, 515, 0, 515. Although those are repeated, it is completely okay. And we can try out the recursive one too. So match, I spelled it wrong, one sec. Constrain match pair recursive. All right, now we can print it out and we get the same result. Perfect. Now we can just move on to problem 4. All right, so for problem 4, we have to write a function called substring match1sub, which takes 2 arguments, a target string and a key string. This function should return a tuple of all starting points of matches of the keys to the target, such that at exactly one element of the key is incorrectly matched to the target. So he's asking us to take the function from problem 2, substring match exact, and then subtract the result, it's a list, from the function in problem 3, which is substring match1sub. So we can do this in the non-recursive way first, as always. We can do this using a for loop. But first we have to get those, well, functions. So I've imported problem 2 and problem 3 as P2 and P3. So let's get, I'm going to call like the main string main, like literally. So this is what we'll be subtracting from. So I'm going to convert to list because the function from P3 is going to return a tuple. So P3 dot substring match1sub, and we're going to pass in key and target. And yeah, the ordering is kind of messed up, but that is okay. And then I'm going to call this other list delete, if I can spell it right. Okay. And this one will return a list, so we can just say P2 dot substring match exact, pass in target key. It's opposite ordering. All right, so now we can write our loop. So for a in range, wow, I can't type, in range length of main, for I in delete, if I in main, then we want to remove from main. So we can use the remove function, and we pass in an index, oh no, sorry, not an index, a value that it will remove. And then in the end, we want to return main. So we're essentially just removing directly from main using the delete function, the delete list, and now we get a simplified main list. All right, so now let's do the recursive one. All right, so to do the recursive one, I'm going to create a new function that is actually doing all the recursion. But first, let's get these 2 lists in. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in. And now I'm going to just do it before we create the function. Return recursive delete, which is my function name. And it's going to contain the parameters main and delete, which are the lists. All right, so now let's actually define the function. So recursive delete, okay, main and delete. Alright, now we have that defined. So let's just do it. So if length of main is equal to 0, and we want to return an empty list. Because we will be cutting main down, like we did in the previous problems. So now we're going to do the if main sub 0 in delete. Then we want to return recursive delete again. And this is the recursive part. This we're going to splice. So main sub 1 colon spliced. And then we just pass in delete. So now we're actually cutting main down. But if we don't find the first value of main in the delete function, I'm in the delete list, I keep saying that, we want to return, convert to list, main sub 0. So we want to convert that to list so we can add our recursive delete, which returns a list. So again, just main sub 1 spliced, and then delete. And there we go. Now I have everything set up, the string and our 2 print statements. So let's run it. Alright, so we get 0 over here, which is exactly correct. And if we scroll up, we get 0 over here. Perfect. All of this is from the previous problem. We don't need to worry about that. Alright, so that is problem 4 solved. We solved the whole problem set. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. And I will see you later.